Nice, nice. And so what do you do with that? So how are you helping domestic survivors? Okay, great. Oh,
My name is Guido. I am the owner of KTEX International Supplier. We are mainly reseller of equipment, spare part, tools, material, basically for the petrochemical industry because it's my background. And recently we have a letter for as an authorized distributor for US for one German company. This company manufacture lubrication equipment, I mean garage and industrial lubrication equipment. So now we want to expand that area of our business because we basically start selling sensor instruments for the industry, but now we want to complement with this lubrication stuff.
I'm Andrea Wright, and I'm going to launch my business next month, which is mobile lab testing, drug screening for employment, drug screening, DNA testing, paternity test, and because I am an advocate and I work with the Thomas Sickle Cell Foundation, I will offer free.
Well, welcome everybody. Welcome. Thank you for attending this month's panel discussion. If you haven't already done so, there is a sign-up sheet outside on the table. I also put out some, it looks a little different. I put out some literature for you to take with you. So before you leave, if you sign your name there. I'm Jada Harris. I am the chapter president of SCORE Houston, and we're providing this panel discussion so that you can understand government contracting, especially as it relates to our panelist leader, Dr. Jackson of the Office of Business Opportunities with the City of Houston, how to become a vendor, certifications, contracting. We provide you with topics centered around that so that you can become more efficient in government contracting with the City of Houston. We do provide additional information, so please do not feel or do not hesitate to ask us any questions about business. That's what we're here for. But we're also provided this space by HCC, Dr. Brombach, who is the director of the Center of Entrepreneurship here at, and I'll allow him to introduce himself and what he can provide here at the City of Houston. So let's go ahead and start with Dr. Jackson. Next slide.
Okay, so as Jada said, I'm Dr. Portia Jackson. I am the Business Development Manager with the City of Houston's Office of Business Opportunity. We're located downtown Houston, 611 Walker. We do take walk-ins, but just please let us know that you're coming before you come to make sure that we are in the office, because we do have a hybrid work schedule. And so I'm just happy to be here. We've been doing this the third year or the second year?
Second year. No, we're going into our third year.
Okay,
Yes,
this is our third year of doing it. So one year for each of us,
Yes.
trio, three musketeers maybe. And so
Definitely.
we're like Jada said, this is really to help you to get into contracting, but really just to operate your business in general. We pretty much this is an open forum for you to ask questions, because our main thing is to make sure that you have the resources and knowledge to do business with whomever you want to do business, however you want to do business, but just to make sure you have those resources, because we live in an environment where this is a very resourceful town for small businesses. And because it's such a resourceful town, it can be overwhelming. But yet there's still people who don't know about all the resources. So we just want to make sure that we are communicating that out and reaching everybody for that. So we do have folks online that are tuning in. And so therefore, I'll send it over, pass it over to Ravi.
Okay, so then I'll switch over the camera. If I'm looking there and looking there, it just sets up. You also switch over the mic. Welcome to an HCC campus.
Most folks may or may not know, and those of us joining again, you probably already know, but this is, one of 70 buildings across Houston that Houston Community College operates. It's a massive institution, lots of opportunities for, figuring out a way to engage with the college. I run a Center for Entrepreneurship in the Southwest region, where we focus on really helping aspiring entrepreneurs either build their next prototype, or we connect veterans to education resources. I'm glad we have a veteran in the crowd. Thanks, sir. Thank you for your service. But really, we also have programs where we could find your next talent at the college to, work with you in your entrepreneurial journey. Really focused on supporting local and growing local. So love to figure out what the 60-second deal that you have going, because that sounds like maybe we had to send some students your way and potential business your way. But you know, lots of things. We even have a procurement office at the college that is, you know, spending about, I guess, what, $1 million plus a day to run this operation. Its budget's $390 million. So this is, you know, all the money kind of circling back into the local economy. College has lots of programs from AI, which is artificial intelligence, bachelor's degree in that, to engineering degrees, to HVAC and welding, and a lot of workforce programs. Over 140 programs at the college. So just a matter of either you're looking to get some education yourself or train your employees. There's programs for that. Looking to get your next talent, there's career services, or looking to do business with the school, procurement, or just grow your business, where we've got Center for Entrepreneurship and very specific programs for different things. So at the Southwest Center, we host hackathons. You know, some of you may or may not know what that is, but it's an opportunity where we have sponsors who say, here's a problem that I'm having. And then we engage students across the district to solve that problem. And then we build solutions, either products or services, that we go seeking funding from National Science Foundation or other groups. And the idea there is we validate the prototype and then bring it to market. So yes, please join us. So I'm excited to share that, you know, we've filed 3 patents out of our office with students at a community college for different innovations, from shampoo formulations to drone arms. We've helped start about 157 different businesses out of the center in the past 4 to 5 years of operation. This is again from a community college. Usually people don't think about, but there's a lot of talent at a community college, and we'd love for some of you veteran business owners to come mentor some of our student teams and encourage the next generation of entrepreneurs, or be yourself and come get educated with our different programs. We have a small business success series. We have a HCC small business pitch competition. We have programs focused for veterans, as I mentioned. We call it the Veterans Entrepreneurship Program. We have a program called Veterans Leadership Program that's offered at Stafford. And those are just a few things that we have across the district. So I know I took a little bit more than I should have today. So I'm going to pass it back to you. And we really do appreciate our partnership with the OBO and SCORE for bringing all that relevant education to this part of town, and you know, sparing us the traffic to come to downtown.
Yeah, oh gosh. Yeah, if it was to that, it would be all online, but thank you for joining us again, and those of you on
For joining us. So that you know, all of our previous sessions are online, so you can go back and look at some of the topics that we discussed. We do repeat the topics each year, but we provide you with new and information, updated information to help you with your business. So next slide, please. So this month's topic is actually a culmination of what we've done in the past, because it was asked that we provide information on, you know, what it means to be in business. A lot of people that are startups, they're, you know, they're in conceptual stage of their business, don't exactly know what it takes to come to be in business, all the different aspects and intricacies of operating a business efficiently. Before we even get to contracts, they require certain aspects of your business before you can be considered for. Now, anyone can bid on a contract. Is that right?
Mhm.
Anyone can bid on a contract.
Yes, anyone can.
Yeah, you can take your time and fill out one, but if you are, or fill out a bid, but if you are not established, if you don't have financials, if you do not have a customer base with the track record, for instance, those are some elements that are necessary to even become certified and then bid on a contract to be considered for. Okay, again, at any level, you can bid on a contract, but will you be considered competitive? No. So this particular session is to speak on some of those topics. So the first thing is starting your business and the community resources that are out there and available to you. How many of you are in conception or startup phase? Okay, and startup means 1 to 2 years, something to that effect. Okay, all right, so most everyone. And so this is important, some things that are important for you to know. SCORE is here to help you in that aspect. We consider ourselves the front porch or the front gate of the small business ecosystem here in Houston, Texas, and beyond. And the reason why I say that is because we are the second largest chapter in the United States. So a lot of businesses come to us from other states to get information and resources. Like Dr. Jackson mentioned, we have an amazing ecosystem here. And what I mean by ecosystem is partners, organizations that exist in the city of Houston as compared to other cities, even as close as Dallas or even Austin. They don't have what we have. And so many organizations come to us to get the resources. Within our chapter, we have attorneys, we have CPAs, former marketing executives, as well as existing currently in business marketing executives to help you, for example. And so with that being said, you can tap our resources for free. And you can meet with a mentor as many times as you want and as many mentors as you need. But in addition to SCORE, there's other business resources or community resources out there that are available to you to help you with your business in different aspects. The reason why we consider ourselves the front gate is because we do have an open door policy where you can drop by into our Gessner location between the hours of 10 and 2 p.m. every day without an appointment. You could just show up and speak to a mentor that's on site. Now, if that is not convenient for you, you're also able to meet with our mentors online. And you can do that by going to our website, which is score.org/Houston, and clicking on Find a Mentor. And then you would register to meet with someone. You can pick that individual, or you can just say, I would like someone in this industry, and they'll be assigned to you. So we're just one of many community resources that are available to you. We can speak to you specifically about contracts, about business startup. Some of the other things that you should consider when you're starting a business is your bank account, your business structure. And what I mean by that, are you a sole proprietor LLC? Are you an S corporation? If you're not to the level of being an S corporation or a C corporation, when will you get there? These are some things that you should consider when starting your business, and SCORE can help you do that, okay? Some of the other business resources that are out there are SBDC, the WBEA, okay? Those are just some examples of community resources. You can find those community resources on our website as well. So with that being said, let me frame this as starting your business as it relates to contracts. When you are considering contracts, and that's why you're here, right? Because you know that there is a plethora of money that's available from different agencies that would like to purchase your services or products. And so with that being said, there's some things that you do need to have and establish, such as, like I mentioned, a business bank account. If you are a solopreneur or a startup, it is important for you to separate your business bank account from your personal bank account. And in order to do that, you do need to provide the bank with at least an EIN. So if you have not obtained your EIN, which is free, you would go to the irs.gov website and you can download your EIN for free. It takes only about 15 minutes. What I will say, PDF, what they provide to you, because if you do not, you will have to call them, request it, and they will mail it to you, and it puts a delay, very long delay on getting that document. So PDF the information, but it only takes about 15 minutes. This is important, even if you're just going to stay a solopreneur for a while. This is a side hustle or something that you're not sure that you want to do, but you're getting money. It's important for you to get the EIN, it stands for Employer Identification Number. It separates you, the person, from you, the business, okay, as a solopreneur. If you do business by happenstance with HCC, you know, you got cupcakes and they're like, you know what, come out, you know, Robbie's like, you know what, I'll give you $1,000 if you give us 1,000 cupcakes. And you're like, swell. And it happens just like that. Sometimes it happens like that. They're going to ask you for your identification number. And if you don't have that EIN, guess what you have to give them? Your social security number, which that puts your social security number in their database. And so that's important for you to, one of the reasons why you should separate your social security number from your business structure. Any questions? I know I've given a lot of information so far.
But no, I am sharing with
Okay.
the public.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
First, you talked about scores, or just or score.org/Houston.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Okay. So, any questions? Okay, so pretty straightforward, right? That is, and I know it, you have a question? Yes.
Yeah. So you think it's
Yes. That's usually a small purchase, and sometimes that happens if you develop a relationship with someone within the organization and they need something very quick and on demand, and they'll say, you know what, I know, what's your name? Okay, your business name? Okay, so Obioma. You know what, I heard, Obi, I heard that you got the best cupcakes in Houston. Go ahead and supply it because I need them tomorrow. Can you do that? Absolutely. Here's $1,000. Sometimes that happens, sometimes, very rarely. And
Can I-
again,
Can I clean it up?
yeah, clean it up. I knew she, yeah.
So I've been working in government for a long time, so that's why I'm like, let me come in here because people be like, that's all I can
Yeah, right. No, it's not all you got.
No.
That's why it's like, it sometimes happens, very rare.
So I'll give you an example similar to what she said. So I was invited to a grand opening. I went to a grand opening, and just some background, I manage the business development programs for the city of Houston. So that means like educational programs, some of them last a day, some of them last up to 7 months. And so at this time that I was going to this particular event, I was preparing for graduation for one of our 6-month programs. When I went to this event, the grand opening, of course, they had food. They had some delicious pasta and they had some great cupcakes there with some cookies. I ate the food and I was like, oh, well, my search stops here. So I went to the caterer and I said, are you a certified vendor with the city of Houston? He said, what is that? I went to the lady who made the cupcakes. Are you a certified vendor with the city of Houston? She said, not yet. So what I was asking was, as a government entity, and we all pretty much work on the same principles, you have to be a registered vendor with them. You have to put in your information. It doesn't cost you anything to be a registered vendor, but you have to be in our system as a vendor. So that's gonna preclude that you're going to create a profile where you're creating your business name. You put your business name in there, your name, the contact information, and you're gonna pick out these codes. So the codes can either be, you'll hear them say NIGP codes, some you'll hear them say NAICS codes. So NIGP and NAICS codes are all acronyms. We're not gonna go into what what they stand
Google
for,
is your friend.
but you'll hear those NIGP codes, NAICS codes. What they do is identify specifically what your business does, the products or services. You may have one code or you may have a plethora of codes. That's fine. But in your registration, you have to identify those codes that associate with your business. And there's a list, a directory that's standard across the United States. We just use those codes. And so with that, back to the grand opening, they said they weren't. I said, well, I want to hire you all for my graduation that's coming up because I need to have food there. And so I just went in the process of giving them the information so they could become a vendor and got them, get them in the process of being certified for us as a minority, and one was a woman-owned business, so that they could not only just do business with us, but with other agencies, but the certification is not necessarily needed to do business with us. But clearly they were small businesses and they were woman owned and they verified that they were minority owned. And so that's a quick example to show you how she was saying that that relationship where it can happen pretty quickly, where we can just make the purchase using our credit card.
And a lot of times, most times, that it's a longer process.
Yes.
Becoming a vendor is one thing, okay? Then getting certified, that's the second thing. Okay, then bidding on a contract and receiving a contract or other steps that are involved. So it's a journey, it's a process.
Right.
There's levels to this.
Yeah.
So at the very basic, you would want to become a vendor of the agency that you're interested in doing business or that is interested in doing business with you. So remember, you're a commodity too. So, you don't want to spread yourself thin. I get a lot of people who say, I want to do business with everyone. And that's great, but can you as a solopreneur? That it's very difficult to do that because you may be able to spread yourself that thin, but are you able to answer every call that they have? You'll feel, believe me, I've done it. You don't want to turn down business. You see money coming in, it's like, yes, I can do it. I'll just do, I won't sleep or, something to that effect. So what I'm saying is that find the agencies that are looking for your services and you want to do business with. City of Houston, of course, is one of the major players in Houston. So like she said, they're buying cupcakes. So you can imagine what else they're buying. I've heard of some really sophisticated services that are being offered, some community services that are being offered, and the City of Houston, purchases those things on a periodic basis. Construction, more than not. Cupcakes, sometimes less. Community services, it depends. Right? Am I correct on that?
Yes. So of course, construction is going to be one of the major ones because look where we're at.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, and so it's just a different, like she said, there's levels, there's different types of purchases. I don't think we'll go into that today, the different types of purchases. But is there opportunity? Yes, there's opportunity. It can be small or it can be large. And so you just got to really know your way. You're entering newly into the procurement space, depending on your industry. You just want to make sure that you build a solid foundation and be able to access those opportunities. So if somebody who's like $1,000 is not enough money for me, then you know that your route is going to be more in the bidding process, opposed to somebody who says $1,000 that works because of my industry, the cupcake industry. You can, that's, $1,000 is fine, so they're going to operate with that. And so knowing your industry and what you provide, also knowing your worth. It's just, and honestly, the more I'm in business, the more I realize business is just like life.
Yes.
In relationships,
Yes,
right? You
relationships.
gotta know your value.
Meaning that we all know each other. And so, word gets around, oh, you don't want to use, XYZ because, they didn't do this, this, and that. And that's another reason why you shouldn't spread yourself very thin. Do well with one and then gradually increase. That way you're showing that you have character and stature to provide the services and products that they need. Okay. So that is what we have as it relates to startup. How about maintaining your business? So back to the slide.
Oh, wait. Okay. Stay there, Rob. So if we can scroll down a little bit. Okay. So this is our website, the Office of Business Opportunity, and I just wanted to highlight, since we're in
before we move on to, while we're in the startup phase, just want to highlight some of the things here, the services that we provide. So one is that financial education and assessment tools. So if you're starting up and you're looking for funds, and even if you're growing and still looking for funds, this tool is accessible to you. What we do is we break down the different financial resources that are available, categories, you know, if you want regular funding, traditional funding, or if you go to a smaller type of funding with CDFIs, community development financial institutions, crowdfunding, we have that financial tool that will help you in your search with the contact information for those folks. We also have, put on a little bit more. There we go. At the bottom, you see small business legal consultation. So that's a service that we provide is free legal services that can be utilized. So a lot of times when you're starting your business or even growing your business, but especially starting your business, you want to get your contracts in place. So when you do business with folks, it's not just a handshake. I don't know who uses that anymore, but you know, you want to have that contract available so that you make sure that you get paid. If not, there's, you know, repercussions associated with it. Maybe you're getting ready to open up brick and mortar and you want somebody to look at your lease agreement, all those different things. Nonprofit, our office typically helps for profit, but for our free legal service, it is available for nonprofits. So if you need any information regarding them to look over any type of contract, any type of wording, they can help you. If you're in the startup, the very, very beginning, and you're saying, is it an S corp for me? Is it C corp? Is it LLC? The DBA? You can have an attorney to help you to find the best structure for you and to set it up. So a lot of people don't know. You have an LLC, but an LLC can be set up very different ways.
Yeah.
Especially if you have partners, and that can help you in the long run, because a lot of people didn't know that. When COVID hit and they had those PPP loans, a lot of them found out that theirs wasn't really set up in the right way. So you always want to have an attorney to look over that, and this is a way to utilize that. I know attorney fees are very, very high, so that's why we pride ourselves in being able to offer this service to small businesses, because it's very helpful if you want to have that strong foundation in doing your business. And then under business development programs, we have a plethora of programs, with the one starting off the Lift Off Houston Business Plan Competition. For anybody just starting off, that's an opportunity for you to join that. Even you have two components where you can just go through the classes and get a certificate for completing those classes, or you can go on to pick your business to win $10,000. You have 3 different categories that you can win, and a fan favorite and a whole lot of different things. But
When
what
is
this
that
is
gonna open back up? Yeah.
in July, in the summer.
Yeah. Okay, question on that real quick before we move on. I wanted to, I started trying to take classes and get all right. But when I noticed it, that was saying that you can't be in no business, but you can't spend and make so much money to be eligible for the lift program, that lift off program.
Yes, that is
Okay,
that is
that's
true.
what I mean.
So, it's to really make sure you're a startup business, and there could be some type of person who's just gotta like that they started business last month and they already made $100,000.
Yeah.
You don't need us, right? You don't need our competition.
Right.
But, but that's for that. But yeah, there is a limitation of how much you could have made in your first year.
Okay, well, I need to be careful about that because I already have a business, but I'm resolving it because I gotta go back. I was helping somebody else out and it just completely didn't work out. And that's when I started doing the lift off thing. But I still, got this business I'm trying to do like within the trucking industry. I just realized that I needed to go back for that business and do like broker training and stuff. So it's not gonna be a new LLC, but the next one is gonna be it.
It's very real. I mentored a Lift Off Houston contestant, and she did win the 10,000. Yeah, so I think that was I want to say it was during the pandemic, 2020, that she actually won. And it was she was an RN or is an RN, and her business was to help people transition from surgery to comb. And so, yeah, very, very lucrative business.
Very.
And yeah, so I helped her, gather, put together her financials and she was able to pitch it on. So, very real competition.
So I just wanted to point out some of those things before we moved on to
Sure, absolutely.
inside business.
But-
But there's a lot of other different information, regarding, no matter what level you're at, I want to point out those since we were already.
So as you can see, the agency, they'll help you. And they'll give you the resources and information that you need in order to be successful. But like Dr. Jackson said, there's a lot of information, it's very overwhelming, and you don't know where to start. And that's the reason why we provide these panel discussions. So as it relates to maintaining your business. Okay, useful tools. So in order for you to manage your business, so most of y'all are startup, some of you may be in your third, fifth year of business or more. And you're just wanting to maintain. It's one, the first couple of years you're grinding, right? You're getting to grow, and finally you're at a point where you can, pay the rent, you can pay your employees, and so what are some tools that you could use in order to maintain your business? To understand your direction, to analyze your financials. Of course, I'm going to say QuickBooks is one, but also, yeah, yeah. So if you have questions about QuickBooks, I can talk to you all day about it through SCORE. I also teach classes within the ecosystem, so there's plenty of opportunities to get your financials together. The one thing I will, since we're on the top of the financials, what I will say about financials is that it will tell the story of your business. I've been a grant and contract administrator for over 25 years. And what I will tell you, you can come in and say, oh, my business does, glorious, it walks on water, it's amazing business, but you give me your financials, I can tell you right off that if it's the truth or not, and also where you're going. And so your financials are very important for you to manage. You need to be able to produce an income statement and balance sheet, at least on a monthly basis. And like Dr. Jackson said, the PPP opportunity was dependent on that. If you did not have financials prior to February of 2019, you could not get that loan. And even as you're finding out now, there's a lot of buzz going around the fact that people, they lied and got that money. And now they're instituting things to find out who they were and who they are and to persecute. They're not just getting the money back, they're going to prison.
Is that why they're doing the BOI now?
I would say so, yes.
That's
And
what I figured.
we did have that on our SCORE website as of yesterday, prior to yesterday, but there's been a challenge by a state, I think it was Missouri. They challenged the decision. And so right now it's being updated. And so we took it off the website, but there is a website that you can go to find out more about that. And it pertains to LLCs. So if you're an LLC, this is pertinent to you. And if you're not an LLC, you're a sole proprietor or an S corporation, C corporation, it doesn't pertain to you. Okay. So that's what I'll say about that before we get in the weeds. Plus, I don't know enough about it to really, talk about it, but it is something that I believe is similar in process to franchise tax filing and reporting. It's similar in that vein, but you're doing it on a federal level. And I do believe, in my opinion, not SCORE's, that it has something to do with the PPP individuals that were on, Facebook Live talking about they got that check. Back up from that. So there's other tools that are available to you. You want to get a good CRM system, customer relationship management system that helps you, like MailChimp, that helps you understand who and gather data on your customers so you'll know how to grow your customer base and maintain that information and use it for marketing purposes. What are the tools that you've heard of that are out there? I mentioned QuickBooks, but there's other systems like Xero and, other financial tools that you could use, but, you get what you pay for. What other tools have you heard of that are out there for your business?
I don't remember QuickBooks.
Zero, you heard zero? And any, I mean, not just in financial, what else have you heard up there? I use Zoom, I use Calendly, to help me manage my business. It takes Calendly. So Calendly, what it does is that it allows you to provide a link to whoever, so that they can schedule a meeting with you.
Yeah, I have it.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah.
A lot of times people would send me an email and say, what does your calendar look like for next week? And then I have to go in there and look at it, and it's too much time. And so I just, with Calendly, CALENDLY.com, you just hook it up to your, for us, it's Outlook. I hook it up to my Outlook, and then I can send people the link, and they can go and they have access to my calendar, and they can schedule whatever time works best for them. So that's definitely a tool that.
Yeah.
Like Square or Bill.
Yes, that's the beautiful thing.
Yes, actually, when you brought up Calendly, I wanted to make sure I mentioned this, because I had gotten an email from Calendly, and it brought up a good point, and I saved the article too. And it was saying, as business owners, you start charging people for your time.
Absolutely.
And so if somebody wants to pick your brain or ask you a question, you
That
send them that Calendly link,
Mhm.
and it'll have your, whatever fee you set up, whatever to do that, then you could charge them for that. So think about that, as another way of becoming how to really use that, especially if people are asking you questions, or, some people say, oh, you can talk to me. It used to be like 30 minutes for free.
Yeah.
People are like, no, you can talk to me 15 minutes. for free."
Right.
And then after that,
Right, exactly. And a lot of people are hesitant to do that, I don't want to charge her just to talk with me. I was like that at first. But now, especially when you get people that are really not interested, they just saw you or you heard about you, and they just, want to, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want to prevent anyone from reaching out to me, especially through stores. Store, of course, is free. But through my business, I got my hands in so many pots that, especially with my family, my children, like, I don't want to waste not even 5 minutes talking to someone that's really not interested in my service through my business, unless they're interested in moving forward. So, I was definitely going to piggyback on that. I have, and this is stated, if you're old school like me, it used to be a time where you had an individual that would set up your calendar, that would send out the invoice, that would gather the payment, and then, let you know that you have something on your calendar has been paid, right? With one single link, you can do all of that, and it takes minutes. And they do take a fee. They take a percentage, or not a percentage, a small fee for doing it. Calendly, depends on what level you have. I think it's like $15 a month to do it. But then Stripe takes like, I think like $6 or whatever the percentage of the fee that I'm charging. And they cannot book with me until they have made a payment. And that saves me a lot of chasing down invoices and providing my service accidentally for free. It's been planned a couple of times. I learned the hard way, learned with a T, that that I gave them 2.5 hours of my time setting up their QuickBooks, sent out the invoice, and they never got paid. I'm butthurt. They can't get any more services from me, and it's just it destroys the relationship. Whereas now, I send that link out. If they set their appointment, they make their payment. There's no discussion about money. It's really, if you like my fee, you're gonna take the appointment. If you don't, you move on to someone else that either you can afford or that you appreciate more. So no feelings hurt, right? So that's just an example of some of the resources. Zoom is one of the best resources, especially pandemic and post-pandemic. I don't have to go or travel downtown to meet with a client, or, even though I have locations that, I have a space at the Cannon that I can meet my clients in. I can meet downtown or various locations with my clients, but it's much easier for us to, top up, meet on Zoom. I am in my, space, and I can get up and get coffee or whatever I need to do. And that's about $15 a month, depending on the level. So those are different tools that help you manage your
And then
business.
also you mentioned the canvas, so there's a lot of different like co-op, or not co-op,
Co-working.
but co-working spaces that are available that target small businesses. So if maybe your home office is literally at home, and you don't want to invite people to your home to do a meeting, there's spaces that welcome them. you can do that. Some of them you can do is, just go there for free to have a meeting. Others you can rent by different types of rooms. Some have conference rooms if you need to have meetings with folks, or some have, you need to do a podcast. You can do that. Honestly, I just thought about that. The Houston Public Library, Ailey, their multi-service center is amazing. You can do all types of stuff there. They have, you can do podcasts, you can do videos there. I mean, you can make stuff there, and as long as you have your library card, it's at no cost, financial cost to you. They even have training videos there. So those are just other resources that are available to you. And just in my vein of cleaning up, my counseling league does not charge anybody.
Yeah, and the Canon is one of SCORE's resource partners. So in fact, we're having a women's forum on March 27th. That's open to women. If men want to attend, we cannot prevent you from coming, but it is limited seating. We only have 33 or 37 seats. And we're excited about it. It's an opportunity for women entrepreneurs to exchange information, and it will be at the Cannon in the afternoon. We're going to provide refreshments. It is an opportunity for us to share the resources that are available to you within this ecosystem as women entrepreneurs, and talk about some of the challenges or opportunities that you have as women entrepreneurs. This is Women's History Month, and that's the reason why we're having it. There's plenty of other events that we're having later on in the year, so please, look onto our website. But within the Canon, you are able to, like she said, you can even drop in and pay a day rate just to share the space and meet with clients or whatever you need to do. But a co-working space is, I'll give you a good example. I do work from home. That is on my certifications. That is where listed is where my business is held. And so I did meet with clients at my apartment. It had a conference room, or has a conference room and all that good stuff. And it was great. It was convenient, especially in my startup days, right? I didn't have to spend the money, all of that good stuff. But as I grew, the internet was shabby, people would reserve the room. And so my clients and I, would have to meet in the community room where people were playing pool and eating smelly stuff. And it wasn't professional. And then what really clinched it for me to move to a co-working space was someone just showed up to my apartment and wanted to meet. And it was like, and it was a woman, not that that's not threatening, but still it was like, yeah, I don't think, now I can afford to, go ahead and get this co-working space, and it's a better fit. And now I can put that address on my certification so people can't just show up to my location. So that's just a good example of the reason why you would want to use resource tools. So let's take it to the next one. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention some of the resources that I've been using,
Okay, sure.
and just, if you have any suggestions. So since ours is more an event, we use Eventbrite to sell tickets and also to promote. I've gotten some people that just saw us on Eventbrite and they came to our event. I've been using Peerspace to find locations because we don't have a brick and mortar, so I use Peerspace to find venues to host our swap party. And Canva, I've been using to create marketing for social media and things like that. So if you have any other suggestions, I love libraries, but I didn't know if libraries would be an appropriate place since we kind of make so the A-Leaf Multi-Service Center is the venue. A library has a space in the multi-service center. So they have regular library with books and whatnot. They also have this space that's dedicated for business where if you're into like embroidery, all that kind of stuff, they have the machines and stuff there. If you're into wood cutting, they have machines there for the business owners. If you have a podcast, they have a room that you can check out to create your podcast. If you make demo tapes or whatever, recording, whatever they say these days, you have the space to do that. And so all that is free of charge. They have the videos to show you how to use the equipment as well. So that's all in the multi-service center. In that multi-service center, They have rooms, so if you wanted to, just say you were a consultant and, or a motivational coach and you wanted to host a workshop, you can check out the rooms for the multi-service center. So it's, they have a passport office in there too. It's a lot of stuff that they have. So the multi-service centers are operated by the city of Houston. So those are just other resources that you can check in those multi-service centers. They're multifaceted, have different types of services, specific for the community that they serve. So AD is going to have a lot of folks in manufacturing businesses in that particular area. So that's why you have that in that particular.
And it's important to know this because a lot of organizations, if you're a for-profit organization, you can't use their space. So center is a very lucrative opportunity for you. Not only do they provide the space, but you have people from the community coming in and out, and they'll be able to see you operate. So it's, you know, I know that years ago when I started my business, I would go to Panera. You know how they used to have those community rooms, and I would hold my events there. But if I tried to go into a public library, and I'm talking on a different state, if I tried to use a public library, they would say that I couldn't because my organization was charging a fee, right, you know, so on and so forth. So this is a very lucrative opportunity. Yeah. So you want to be able, like, you ask good questions like you just did about what resources are out there in the community so that, you know, you can do this business. I think of entrepreneurship in my mind as freedom. I worked for, you know, organizations and corporations for a good portion of my life, and it very was clink clink. You know, I had to be there at a certain time. I had to, you know, report to people. I have sons with sickle cell disease, so I was constantly in the hospital. So I had to ask, can I please, you know, go to the hospital with my son, you know, so that I can be with him. And as an entrepreneur, I take my laptop and I will sit and do what I need to do. I don't have to ask anyone permission but God. It's not, you know, something that prevents you from living your life the way that you want to. And that's why I love entrepreneurship. And so when you have these resources that are available to you, and you can, especially as women, for Women History Month, you know, where we have, you know, plenty of things, even if you're not a mom, you have plenty of demands that are on you. You're, you know, in my case, family caregiver, where you're taking care of your parent, or, you know, someone in your family, you know, ensuring that they are, you know, healthy. That's just, it falls on us as women. And sometimes, a lot of times we elect to do it, right? Because we're caregivers, right? So in that case, you know, I need that flexibility. Working for someone or an organization is going to prevent me from being who God created me to be. So with that being said, elevating your business. So that's what we came here for, government contracts, right? And this is an opportunity to elevate your business, take it to the next level. When you have figured out the B2B, the business to business, the B2C, the business to client, we have B2G, and she coined that, B2G, business to government, where it will take your business to the next level. You've already established your bank account at this point. You've already set yourself apart as an S corporation or as an LLC. You got your financials together. Now let's see about this $5 billion contracting opportunities for minority-owned businesses here in the city of Houston. Just so imagine if you got to the federal level, what you could do all over the United States with your business. And so government contracts gives you that opportunity to elevate your business, take it to the next level. Questions? I know we're getting short on time.
Are you allowing me to ask?
Sure.
I thought you never asked.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
We want to. But on the topic of resources, I pulled up some websites because you guys were talking about libraries and others. You know, I mentioned HCC as the building. Oh, good. Okay, that's not. Like, but you know, the college, this classroom, for example, right? You could rent it out at nonprofit. 70 buildings, million per square footage. That's an example of our district office, where you've got capacity for 100 people or 200 people, theater style. It's $500. It looks like the rent if you're for profit. So you could actually contact and find these spaces. I mean, available to do what you want to do. Nonprofits get a cheaper rate and what have you. And then, you know, to go back to the managing your business, or even starting your business, I know I briefly talked about the small business program we have at HCC. I was gonna throw in there Goldman Sachs program that we have, which is really focused for businesses that have been in operation for 2 years and has revenue of about 75K the most recent year. This is a free program that's being offered at the college, and you know, they're taking the summer applicants now. The cool thing about this program, over 1,000 graduates have completed this program since 2009. I think the number is like 96% of them are still in business today, and everyone that goes to the program has grown their revenue, double, triple revenue, because they learn directly from business coaches and that are set up by the Goldman Sachs group. And there's a lot of opportunities there to consider. We also have the I want to say the pitch competition, which I think is somewhere here. The HCC pitch competition, which is very similar to Liftoff. And I think this year's it's already closed, but it's about $26,000 or so that gets distributed. This competition. So again, if you start Googling for things, you're gonna find a whole bunch of stuff. And then since you guys mentioned the veteran in the audience, I just wanted to point out the veteran entrepreneurship program that I'm really proud to have started at HCC. 3 stages: we teach you digital skills, business skills, and then a community launch pad where we have the Veterans Chamber of Commerce and many other partners offering seed funding as part of the competition prize money. But then you are, connected to a group that is the Veterans Chamber. Over 260 veteran-owned businesses listed on the member directory. We have an interactive map where you can find a veteran business to help and support or patronize, right? And that's just, again, resources in Houston. Well, the link is hccs.edu/VEP, Veteran Entrepreneurship Program. And then we also have one more initiative called Veteran Leadership Program. Most folks may or may not realize, but this program has former Texas House of Representative Rick Miller teaching at Stafford, and he offers 8 workshops on becoming an impactful leader, really focused on personal growth for our veterans and veteran dependents, spouses, kids. So, it's a free program. We offer at our Stafford campus, but that's another opportunity to kind of find your brothers and sisters and go through this path, then start entrepreneurship, right? So we have 2 programs. And I'll just throw this one because we talked about cupcakes. I was like, I gotta tell them.
Somebody came in with cupcakes. Remember those cupcakes? They came here and they were cake pops. Yeah. Oh, it was amazing. She need to come back. You need to come back. Bring the cupcakes.
Well, because we've had some students that had come to the office and said, hey, I want to grow my business. HEB runs this competition. So one of our mentees won the competition. 2 years later, husband, wife, millionaires, sold the business. They were fastest growing in Texas. The company was Bagel Dots. So if you go to HEB today, there's 4 packaging of Bagel Dots available, and they make the mini bagels. So this is more available to us than if you're in that space. You could actually sell to HEB, and if you win, they'll give you $20,000, help you with all your branding, and get you a commercial manufacturer that can help you go from 500 bagels a day to 50,000 bagels a day. And that's what the mentees did, and they scaled up, and basically they got acquired by a much larger company just a few years later. So lots of opportunities. Again, if you're just looking for these things, depending on the industry. But that's where mentors like Jada come into place. With SCORE, they could guide you in so many directions. Or our office, we could, depending on what it is that you're doing, we could say go to SCORE or go to HEB or go to LBO.
Yeah.
And kind of give you that, but I think all of us are cheerleaders,
Yeah.
for businesses in Houston and Fort Bend, so we wanna figure out what your needs are and then connect you to those resources.
Absolutely, absolutely, and what he just mentioned, especially with HEV is a, you know, regional business, right? They don't, where I'm from, they don't have this. This opportunity does not exist. So this is what we were saying as we introduced it, that this is a very lucrative ecosystem here. You won't be able to go to many other cities and get what you get here in Houston. One things that I do want to touch as we're closing, only because someone asked in the last meeting that we kind of discussed this, and that's as it relates to government contracts and how you as a startup or as a subcontractor would engage or get into the contracting area. And it is really as a subcontractor. I mean, I'm not going to say that you cannot apply as a prime, but if you want to learn and you want to engage, the best way is to become a subcontractor. And the difference between a prime and a subcontractor is the prime is the sole manager of the contract. A subcontractor is an individual that connects to that prime in order to provide their services to the prime, and then the prime provides the responsibility or service to the agency. Did I explain that?
Yes.
Okay.
So the prime contractor has a contract with the agency, and then they give a portion of the work to someone else to complete it. That's
Yes.
a sub.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people are like, no, I want to be a prime. I don't want to be under anyone else. But this is an easier way for you to understand, especially as a startup, of the process. You don't want the responsibility of a prime because then you will have to, you know, deliver. And as a startup entity, is almost difficult to do that and do it efficiently. Get your feet wet. Use the opportunity with the prime in order to get familiar with the contracting process. And a lot of people are like, hey, how do I find out who these primes are? The I always forget the meetings, the pre-bid meetings are a perfect opportunity for you to meet with the primes or individuals that are interested in the contract that you're interested in. These pre-bid meetings are listed on the agency's website. So we're talking about the City of Houston. On the City of Houston's website, you will find the bids listed and then the pre-bid meeting, which is usually about a month or so prior to the due date of the bid.
So when you are searching for bids on our site, it's going to have the bid solicitation. They're going to have all the information about the bid, including a pre-bid. And so that's the meeting she's talking about. So for instance, if the bid is, if you check the website and the bid is due Tuesday, March 11th, I can guarantee the pre-bid meeting has already occurred, right? So you want to always be in the space of checking those websites to see what's available and what we're looking to purchase, so that you're not missing those opportunities. But also, in addition to the pre-bid meeting, you need to be out in the space networking. And so though it may be hard when you're starting out because you're trying to work on the business and then you're like, I gotta go out. Yeah, you have to go out unless you're fortunate to have somebody, maybe y'all tag team, you know, and this is a great space to do that, is when you heard people talk about their business, and if it's somebody who will possibly go and gallivant in the same area that you are, y'all could tag team. There's so many different events, and you say, okay, I can go to this event, you go to these events, and then you share the contact with me and I share the contact with you. That's, you know, that's a way to do it. I mean, you can even collaborate to do government contracts together. So with entrepreneurship, I know sometimes we start working on it by ourselves so much and we get involved, but it's just me doing the, you know, solo entrepreneur, or me doing it all by myself. But you can't do it all by yourself, just like you can't do life all by yourself. You got to have people to help you. And so if you want to work hard, yes, you know, I'm a hard worker. My family are hard worker, but as I got older, I realized they work too hard.
Right.
I need to work efficiently, right?
Exactly.
And so, because I like to go on vacation, so how in the world can I partner with somebody so we can get tag teams, so it's less hardworking, but it's more efficient because we're still getting the work completed, but we're not hiring ourselves out
Yeah.
to where we get disappointed and discouraged and don't want to move forward and becomes a burden and not the freedom that you mentioned earlier.
Absolutely. And another great thing is that if you happen to do, or you're just starting out, you're doing research, which we talked about in our previous meetings, is that on the website, after the pre-bid meeting, they will list the attendees. Okay, and that is an opportunity for you to reach out to them and say, hey, I provide cupcakes, and, I can possibly be a subcontractor on, and they'll tell you if it's a prime, or you can identify if it's a prime or not versus a subcontractor. All three of us are entrepreneurs. So we've walked the walk while we're talking the talk. And so we're trying to tell you, some of the easy ways, the windows and the doors that you can walk through, instead of you hitting the walls like we've done a couple of times and learned the hard way. So we want to welcome you to come back to our future workshops that are on the screen. Our next one is entitled Obtaining Business Resources. So we talked a little bit about resources this meeting, but next meeting we're going to talk about how can you obtain them, where to go to find them. You can also, our contact information is going to be on the last slide, so you can reach out to us by email. But thank you for attending. Please come back next month. We will take a summer break this year because we have found, we're working efficient. We have found that it'll probably be best at June and July, and I think August that will be off. Many people are out of town doing, big things. Yeah, vacationing like we want to. So we'll after May, we'll return in September. So just to put you on notice. Thank you. Yes.